We've had conversations that date back months. So, I mean, he was resolute in his stance.
Right now on Up with KREM, Nickrolovich is no longer the head coach for WSU as the Washington State COVID-19 vaccine mandate takes effect. Tim Pham is live in Pullman this morning on what the future holds for the Cougs.
Good morning to you. Live in Pullman this morning, talking about the fallout from Nickrolovich, also how people at home are reacting, as well as more reaction from WSU leaders. I'll have a live report next.
Vaccination rates are rising. Since the middle of August, we've seen a 25% increase in the number of people who have initiated vaccine in our state.
Now that the Washington State vaccine mandate is in effect, we're breaking down who is and is not exempt.
And we're going to take you outside as the sun comes up across the region and talk another warm day before cooler weather arrives.
Up with KREM begins now.
Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us on Up with KREM. I'm Channing Curtis. The Washington State vaccine mandate officially goes into effect today, and many state workers are finding themselves out of a job, including WSU's head football coach, Nickrolovich. So this morning, we do have team coverage. Tim Pham is live down in Pullman this morning, and he's breaking down Rolovich's exit as well as explaining what the future holds for the Cougs. But first, let's go ahead and send things over to Jeremy Legoo. He's in the Outdoor Weather Center, giving you a look at what to expect on this very chill but very pretty fall morning.
Yes, that's a great way to put it. Look at it. It's incredible. It is downright gorgeous out there. I just saw a group of runners meet up and then take off. I went, ooh, that's the way to do it. A little bit chilly for that morning run or morning walk, but don't worry, temperatures are on the rise. We dipped into the 30s as we expected, so 39 here, dew point down to 34. We likely lose another degree or two early on this morning, and that's the case for just about everybody. Sunrise still sits about 15 minutes away, then it has to go over the mountains, then it has to start warming us up, so we still have a little bit of time to cool, especially with clear skies overhead. 39 in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, 43 in Sandpoint, 34 in Moses Lake, and 40 in Wenatchee. Clear skies take us through the day. But eventually we are going to see a shift in our weather pattern. That shift arrives overnight and early tomorrow morning as clouds move in, and then we get a wave of energy that sweeps the region, brings about a few hundredths of an inch of rain. That's basically enough to kind of wet the roads, and that's the extent. That's all we're going to see as we then shift back toward a drier and sunnier weather pattern by the time we get into the day on Thursday. So all in all, a rather great week ahead. Temperatures stay above normal even tomorrow, but today, kind of the day. Basically yesterday all over again. It's going to be warm and sunny as we head into the afternoon. So get outside, take in some of the fall foliage, and well, just enjoy yourself because cooler weather is on the way and it arrives in time for the weekend.
It's our big story of the day. Nickrolovich is no longer the head football coach for WSU as the Washington State COVID-19 vaccine mandate takes effect. So weeks of questions and even speculation are now answered as the university and the athletic department made the announcement Monday afternoon. Tim Pham is live from Pullman this morning, and he's breaking down Rolovich's exit as well as explaining what this means for Cougars going forward. Good morning, Tim.
Hey, good morning to you, Channing. You know, you talk about moving forward. I think that's what everyone wanted after this drama, really, we'll call it, began in July. You know, it almost became kind of a distraction for the team. And you can see right now, that's what the team is doing this morning. They're moving forward. They're showing up, putting on their uniform this morning and getting ready to practice as they prepare for BYU this weekend. But again, Nickrolevich's situation still the big topic of conversation even into this morning as he was fired yesterday. And so let's break down how we got to this point when this all began. So in July, that's when Rolovich announced he would not be getting the COVID-19 vaccine for private reasons. He said then he would not be commenting further on the issue. Then, fast forward to early August, Governor Jay Inslee announced most state employees must be vaccinated against COVID-19, including higher education workers. And this is really where the pressure began on Nickrolovich, because he fell into that required category to be vaccinated. Not to mention, he is the highest paid Washington state employee, which garnered a lot of attention as well. WSU did release a statement saying they applauded Governor Inslee's decision and will ensure the mandate is followed. However, Nickrolovich remained brief when asked about the mandate, saying he would follow the mandate but would offer no further comment. As of the October 18th deadline and how it continued to approach, Nickrolovich continued to say he was following the process, but shortly after, Nickrolovitch's mentor went public saying Rolo was applying for a religious exemption. Then, in a press conference after last Saturday's game against Stanford, Nickrolovich said the decision was out of his control.
Do you know if you'll be coaching here next week?
I do not. I don't have my phone. I didn't check my email after the game. I don't think this is in my hands. So I've been settled for a long time on it, and I believe it's going to work out the right way.
Will you make sure you point out? So several players from WSU made it clear they stood behind Nickrolovitch's decision and would like to see him continue as coach. And that leads us up to Monday, where we officially learned that Nickrolovitch's employment with the university, including 4 others on the coaching staff, were let go. WSU's athletic director and Kirk Scholes, the university president, held a press conference, Chun taking full responsibility for hiring Nickrolovich for what he thought was the right fit for the Cougs.
As a director of athletics and steward of this department, I take full ownership and responsibility for hiring Nick. In January of 2020, based on all the information we had at the time, including extensive references and conversations with knowledgeable football experts, we believe we found the perfect fit and a long-term solution for Washington State football. Unfortunately, we stand here today having to make a transition.
Since Nickrolovich and the other coaches were fired with cause, the university does not have to pay them any money from the buyout. Nickrolovich was given the opportunity to get vaccinated before he was let go. However, Chun says getting the vaccine was not an option in Nickrolovitch's eyes.
We've had conversations that date back months. So, I mean, he was resolute in his stance, and he's ready to make a choice. That choice did not put him in compliance with this proclamation from the governor, and that's why we sit here today.
The 4 assistant coaches fired were Ricky Logo, John Richardson, Craig Stutzman, and Mark Weber. It's not known if Nickrolovich addressed the team before his exit, but after Chun met with him on Monday, Chun says Nickrolovich left immediately. He also made it clear Cougs need to support Cougs and show up for the team after everything they've been through.
I am making a heartfelt ask to Cougs to unify around this football team and give them the support and love they need to get through this season. I'm saddened for our football alumni and to all the proud Cougs all over the world for the fracturing that has transpired over the past few months. We need to infuse compassion, empathy, and unity back into our WSU community, and that healing process needs to begin immediately.
So the new man at the helm of the WSU football program is defensive coordinator Jake Dickert. So who is he and what's his background as he is now leading the WSU football program? Our sports reporter Travis Green telling us more about who Jake Dickert is.
We know Nickrolovich is out. The question now, who will take over? Washington State announced it will be defensive coordinator Jake Dickert. Dickert arrived as part of Nickrolovitch's staff in 2020 and turned things around on his side of the ball. Last season, the rushing defense averaged 30 yards less per game from the 2019 season. However, WSU ranks 8th in points given up per game in the Pac-12 this season, so not doing so well this year. Dickert has 14 seasons of college football coaching experience. His most recent stop before Pullman was at the University of Wyoming, where he coached for 3 seasons and was the defensive coordinator for the Cowboys in 2019. So not a lot of time being in charge of a unit, but it is worth noting his 2019 Wyoming defense was ranked 11th in the country against the run. Here's Washington State President Kirk Schultz on Dickert taking over as interim head coach.
I'm really eager to have Coach Dickert standing in and serving as our acting coach. What a tough assignment for him and the rest of our coaches working with our student athletes during this time of change. But I have confidence that Jake will do the job.
We did a little digging, and you can see the now interim coach, Jacob Dickert, tweeted about getting vaccinated way back on May 7th, saying, "We all have a choice, but I am proud to do my part to stop the spread." In the end, his choice led to quite the opportunity for the 38-year-old. And also worth noting, the tweet was pinned to the top of his profile. Washington State will be holding a press conference for Dickert at 12:30 on Tuesday. No players will be made available to media this week. Reporting in the studio, Travis Green.
Travis, thank you. Again, we will have that press conference with new interim head coach Jake Dickert later on this afternoon. You can watch it live on KREM.com or inside the KREM 2 app. You can also stay up to date on the very latest by texting the keyword Rolo to 509-448-2000. We will send a link directly to your phone with everything we know. For now, reporting live on the Washington State University campus in Pullman, I'm Tim Pham. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Tim. Now, of course, we want to hear from you this morning. Do you think that Nickrolovich should have been fired for not getting vaccinated? You can text us your opinions to 509-448-2000, and we'll be taking a look at your responses all morning long. We have already gotten dozens of comments from our viewers this morning. Some people saying, no, I would not fire the coaches. Other people just plain and simple, yes. Again, you can text us your thoughts, 509-448-2000. We'll be continuing this conversation all morning long on Up with KREM. The Washington State Patrol says 127 employees are leaving the department over the state's vaccine mandate. Coming up after the break, we will have a live interview with Chris Loftus from the Washington State Patrol talking about the mandate's impact.